Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to do something a little bit different, but it's very important. If you have anything to do with any kind of Highland Games in any direction, please listen to this. You know, the only thing that happens for sure in advertising is if that you don't advertise, what happens? Nothing. Think about that one. Oh, I forgot to tell you, my name is Beth Freeman, and if you'd like to email me, all you have to do is go to bethscribble@aol.com. If you'd like this particular speech, I wrote it some time ago, not quite the way it is, but mostly it's at the archives on Electric Scotland, October 2008, and it begins on page 3, and it goes for several pages, but you can get this whole speech, and it's got lots of things that you might like to use for your Highland Games. I do a publication, and if you'd like to get that, it's free, and this is how you get it. Go to https://electricscotland.com//BNFT. Now, Highland Games are in trouble most everywhere nowadays. High gas prices, rising costs for most everything have made it harder for families and individuals to travel to away games. Of course, the pandemic has wrought havoc with everything. The games committees work hard to make their own games wonderful, but it's hard to keep going financially if you don't have the attendance to support the necessary expenses it takes to produce a weekend of music, competition, and fun. If you are involved with the games, I hope you'll hear this. I think that there might be a few things here that will help you understand how to help make up some of those people who nowadays can't afford to travel long distances, and that means they will not be buying tickets to your games. Today it's more important than ever to be sure to draw to your games the ones who can come, that is the local population, those that live within short distances of your event or just in surrounding areas. It doesn't matter if you plan and execute the most fantastic weekend of Scottish entertainment and athletics. It doesn't matter if your committee has worked 365 days and nights to be ready for the big weekend. It doesn't matter that you have hired the most fabulous entertainers. Nothing matters in regards to what a good job you've done if nobody knows about it. It's just a fact. People cannot come to your event if they are not informed of what is going on, and also when and where and who and why, etc. How do you do that? Advertising. That's right, advertising. I've been selling advertising since junior high school, I reckon, when we did the John Gorey News, and somehow I started as the business manager. This paper was produced on one of those old copiers that had wax thingies on it, and we justified, that is, made the margins even on both sides. By the very old-fashioned method, the entire journalism class sat there and counted each and every letter, and then went back in and put check marks in pencil where there needed to be more spaces, so when it was retyped, it would come out to the required number of letters so that both margins would be even throughout the little publication. Eventually, I was editor of that paper, and I was co-editor of Lee's Traveler, the publication of Robert E. Lee Senior High School in Jacksonville, Florida. In both capacities, there were ads to be sold. Every group to which I have ever belonged has asked me to be editor of something, and in order to be able to produce the publication, ads had to be sold. I was the first woman ever hired, I was the first woman ever to sell a yellow page display ad in the Jacksonville, Florida phone book. Nice little flower in my hair. Early on, I was the first woman ever to be hired in the advertising department of Sears Roebuck store anywhere in the nation, and that was in the Jacksonville store. I'll never forget Bud Penny and Ira Capps, who began to teach me the rudiments of building a professional advertisement, and this was in the days of hot type. Later on, I studied a very long time, and I was made, with an A-plus examination, a certified radio marketing consultant by the National Association of Broadcasters, a very prized thing to be. I'm proud to say that I was a top salesperson at all the radio stations where I was employed. Later still, I sold advertising for my earlier version of this paper, of Beth's Newfangled Family Tree. It was just called the Family Tree at that time. And I still do a little bit of sales for BNFT. I'm told I sold more than $4 million worth of advertising for that early paper over the course of some years. This is all to explain to you that most of my life has been devoted to the science of advertising. I'm sometimes amazed at things people say. Oh, last year you told us that we could recoup the cost of our newsletter with advertising, I was told. Person said, I put a notice in the newsletter, but nobody called me to tell me they wanted an ad. Was one thing I've heard many, many times. Folks, ads do not arrive on your doorstep. You must go out and get them by calling and visiting and returning on certain dates at certain times and making many, many calls. We'll do a column on that in our newsletter sometime and talk more about it. I've been told, oh, everybody knows what we do. We don't need to advertise. My inner response is, ha! My outer response is mumble, polite. I think that there are many, especially smaller Highland Games, which have gone the way of the dodo bird. They are extinct because they did not have an effective and knowledgeable person in charge of their advertising. I'm sure that's the reason for the demise of a few that I do know about personally. I can hear you all, but we don't have large advertising budgets. That just means that you have to be creative. It means somebody's going to have to work hard. Work is not a four-letter word, folks. Here are a few ideas to get the word out to your local people. Call every one of your schools and area schools too, and ask if a piper or a dancer or both or someone who can speak may come and do a free program for them. It might be fun to have a poster contest amongst the art departments. It might be fun to have an essay contest among the English classes on most any subject you can think of. Kilts, tartan, bagpipes, Highland dancing, even on my Scottish ancestry. You might think of offering free admissions to students on the slower of your 2-day games, or just free admission to students at your 1-day games. Mama and Daddy will come and with their kids, most likely, and buy tickets. Be sure to offer something like the passport collection to the students, or have in your children's area lots of things for them to do. Bar none, the Northern Arizona Celtic Heritage Society, who puts on the Arizona Highland Celtic Festival, has the best children's event anywhere. From the oatmeal toss to the pirate ship with pirate sing-alongs, to many wonderful and inexpensive to-do events. Go to their website and see. It's nachs.info/flagstafffestival.asp. Call each and every one of the radio stations and television stations in your area to see if they have locally oriented programs where your games representative may visit and tell everybody about your event. Be sure the TV guests are fully kilted and gussied up for the occasion. Take a piper or a dancer if it's possible. Both. If your games are nonprofit, the FCC requires that the radio and television stations present PSA announcements, that's public service announcements, and they are free. And that's about the things that nonprofit groups do. So be sure and take advantage of these. Most media people are delighted to help you. A year or two ago, I did public service announcements at the radio station in Cornelia, Georgia, and they sent them right on to the Glasgow Highland Games in Kentucky. But they were free, and they did a lot of good for the games. Press releases may be sent to your local and area newspapers, shoppers, magazines for months before the event. You begin with the planning stages with the dates and the place of the event, and then as entertainers are booked or competitions are planned, send more press releases. These cost nothing, not even stamps today, as you may research their email addresses and send them that way. Posters are great fun. They might be something that the art departments at your local school will do. You can give some kind of a prize to the students who have the best ones, but almost all are wonderful to post around town. If you want to design your own poster with desktop publishing programs galore, the most art-impaired person can create a nice, neat, and attractive poster. Make gazillions of them and have crews of volunteers go about your town and nearby towns, too, who will ask permission from the store owners to tape the posters in their business windows. A favorite ploy of mine, and I did it for the Art Center in Kissimmee, Florida, is to make posters, and I did for their plays, on 11 by 17 paper. You can find that paper in colors, too. Most make lots and lots of them, and then you take them and give them to your local restaurants. Guess what? This paper is the perfect size for placemats. The restaurant owners are delighted with free placemats, and the diners may take them home as a reminder of all of the information they need to come to the event is on that page. Have kilted or kilt-skirted folks pass out flyers at the local supermarket or downtown in your city and those nearby. The flyers may be simple sheets of paper with the name, date, place, ticket prices, etc. Maybe have your local pipe band or single pipers go to malls and downtown to play. Be sure and have volunteers to pass out posters and maybe even sell tickets at these events. Mall managers are delighted to have free entertainment and might even plan a special sales event around your games. Downtown merchants are eager to draw shoppers downtown, so go to one of their meetings and propose that they have a special event around the time of your games. There are thousands of great ideas that will help bring people to your event. We've just scratched the surface here, but maybe this has given you a few things to think about. Please use your advertising budget to place ads in the Scottish publications that we all get. It's a better use of your funds to place smaller ads in more publications, and do begin at least 2 or 3 months before your event, so those who wish to come may plan their trip. If you have questions or would like to talk to me, that's great. Just email me at bethscribble@aol.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. I forgot to tell you, on the wall in back of me is my thank you skirt. I'm an honorary member of, I think, 24 or 25 Scottish clans, and this skirt has bits of their tartan all the way around it where I embroidered the names of the clan. This skirt happens to be black between the tartans, and I have embroidered Morantang, thank you, or one of the Gaelic thank yous on the black strips in between. It is a great thing to be an honored member of a clan, and I thank them all very much. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.